Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Students, before this we have discussed the concept of homeostasis. Homeostasis is the ability of a body or an organism to maintain the internal environment. So in this video, our objective is to understand the concept of homeostasis in plant, that how the plant maintain the internal environment and what changes are taking place in the structure to maintain the internal environment or the homeostasis. First, we will discuss the aspects of homeostasis in plants. So, first aspect is the osmoregulation. Let's know the terminology first. Osmo means pressure. Osmosis is a process in which the water molecule move from higher water concentration region to the lower water concentration region through the semi-permeable membrane. So, osmoregulation is the maintenance of internal water and soil condition by the osmosis. So, water, as we know that all the transportation within a organism takes place in fluid medium or liquid medium. That's why the water is vital for the sustenance of all the organism. And salts, especially mineral salts, are the inorganic substance just like the calcium, magnesium, etc. They are required for the proper growth of the body. So, next is the thermoregulation. Therm mean heat. First, we have discussed the aspect of osmoregulation. It means plant maintain the level of water and salt. And second, plant also maintain the temperature because plant have the need to survive and they will grow at optimum temperature. The maintenance of temperature within a suitable limit where enzyme can work optimally, because all the enzyme get active at certain limit of temperature. Then that's why the temperature thermoregulation is necessary. And the last aspect is excretion. As we all know that all the metabolic activities also produce the waste product which have required to be removed out of the body. So excretion is the removal of waste product out of the body. So the process where metabolic toxic waste or excess metabolic substances from the body, it means ammonia, urea, uric acid, gum, latex, etc. So in excretion, plant remove the metabolic waste, and first we will discuss the excretion or the storage of CO2, that how the CO2 is removed through the body of plant. At daytime, plant perform the photosynthesis in green cells and respiration in all living cell is going on day and night time. The CO2 produced in respiration utilized in the process of photosynthesis, and when the rate of photosynthesis will be higher than the respiration, then the plant get extra CO2 from the air and release extra O2 in air through the stomata. At night, plant only perform the respiration, only CO2 is produced, which is removed by the process of diffusion through the body surface. The green parts perform these gaseous exchange through the stomata, while non-green plant perform this gaseous exchange through the body surface. It means whatever CO2 is absorbed by the plant is utilized during the photosynthesis, but plant respire all the time. It means the CO2 is produced as waste material as well. So that will be released or removed through the organs, special cells called the stomata. So gaseous exchange takes place through the stomata, and next is the removal of extra water. As we have discussed, the and for the homeostasis, all the factors will be in a limit to maintain the life or to maintain the internal environment or homeostasis. Plant also remove the extra water. The plant store large amount of water. This water can be removed from plant by two ways. One is called the transpiration and the second is called guttation. So trans means change. It means change of water within external and internal environment. Okay, transpiration is the removal of water in the form of vapor from the aerial part of plant. It occurs only at daytime. So why the wastewater of transpiration is not visible to us? Because it evaporates into the atmosphere. That's why we can't see. And the second method or process is the guttation. Guttation is the removal of water in the form of liquid from the margin of leaves or tip of the leaf through special pores called the hydaphones. It only occurs at night when water pressure is high in leaf and low temperature environment is present. Plants modify their leaves according to their need. Modify means change, and the plant modify their leaves in size, structure, and the structure of stomata to control the transpiration. Let's see the short clip of guttation. Plant removes the excess water, CO2. So these are the primary products released by the plants, and now we will discuss the secondary product released by the plants. Plant produce some secondary products like latex, resin and gum. So these secondary products are insoluble and harmful compound, and we utilize them in industry industries for the various purposes. Some plant produce special type of gum, for example neem or kikar. Whenever we will cut the stem of kikar, we will get the gum. The extra amount of these are removed through the special pores called the lenticles. What are lenticles? Lenticles are actually the porous tissues. They have the cell with large intercellular spaces. And the conifer plant also produce the resin like material, while the rubber plant produce the latex which remove from scale like opening. Some of these carnivore plant and okra produce the mucilaginous material to capture the insect. It means waste materials are also utilizing for industrial purposes and for the sustenance of for the convenience of plants as well. So how the osmotic adjustment in plant is takes place? We we are in a biosphere and we observe some plants are found in water, in marshy places, dry place, etc. So according to it, the plant grow in different condition of water and salt. On the basis of water and salt quantity, there are four type of plants. So As we are familiar with the term phytes, phyton mean plants. So hydro mean water, halo means salt, meso mean behind or middle, zero mean dry or less water quantity. So let's discuss first the hydrophytes. Hydro mean water, phyta, phyton mean plants. So the plant which grows in fresh water are called the hydrophytes. They live completely or partially in water, so called totally or partially submerged plants. They adapt themselves for removal of excess water which can be entered in this condition. It means hydrophyte also remove the excess water. These plants do not contain root or have poorly adapted root. They have broad leaf if partially submerged and have stomata at upper epidermis, just like the case of water lilies. As we all know that the plant's leaf has the stomata for the gaseous exchange in the lower epidermis, but in case of water lily, the plant is submerged in water, so the stomatas are found on the upper epidermis for gaseous exchange. They have broad leaves if partially submerged and have stomata at upper epidermis, just like the water lily. They may have thin and spongy tissues in leaf and stem in totally submerged in water, just like hydrilla. Hydrilla plant we have studied in class 9 as well, whenever we have studied the process of photosynthesis by the aquatic plant. Next to it, the kind of plants which are living in salty water. So halophytes are plants which leaves or grow in saltish water. They grow in sea, marshes, or in the saltish water. In saltish condition, water move outside of the cell, which is not suitable for the plants. To move water outside to inside, plant develop the following character. So, plant develops salt gland where the plant stores salt by taking it through active transport. Active transport is the movement of molecules from low gradient region to the higher gradient region. Plant oppose salt to move outside from the vacuum. Some salt accumulated at the surface of the leaf which attracts the water from the air. As we have discussed, as the result of transpiration, the waste water is removed in the form of vapor into atmosphere, and air also contains the moisture or the water vapor. So these halophytes absorb dead water from the atmosphere. Next to it is the mesophyte. They are the plants which grow in the moderate water containing soil. They will develop the following characters. They have developed root system which do not grow very deeper, and they have moderate size leaves. And last, the xerophytes. Xero means dry. It means the plants live on land. Plants grow in soil of low water quantity are called the xerophytes. They grow in desert, steep slope, or at the high altitude. Just like students, whenever you went to the northern area, you have seen the plants on the rock and the steeples, etc. To conserve water and absorb proper amounts of water, they develop the following characteristics. They have vertically growing deep root system to absorb proper amounts of water, and they possess thick waxy cuticle over epidermis to conserve water. It means the upper layer of leaf is made up of cuticle, which is waxy layer that prevent the loss of water, and they have the short size leaf, and the leaves are modified into the spine to reduce the loss of water by reducing the number of stomata. And some xerophyte have special parenchyma cell in the stem. What is the function of parenchyma cells? Parenchyma cell stores the water. Where they store water, this makes the stem soft, wet and juicy, called the succulent organ. Cacti. Thank you, students.